Welcome to Littlebourne Church. This week we're here at Littlebourne, the Church of St. Vincent, and it's my pleasure to welcome you once again. I expect most of you have been to a wedding, or possibly more than one, possibly lots and lots. Some of you may have been bridesmaids, or some of you may have played a part in it in other ways. Last year has been hopeless, hasn't it? Because most of them have been cancelled. But I guess if you think back, you've probably been to a wedding. I've been to tons and tons, as you can imagine, all through my life. Well, this story is about when Jesus went to a wedding. Jesus went to a wedding with his disciples, with Mary, his mother. Now, for most of us, a wedding is the biggest party we'll ever have in our lives. It's the one that's prepared for, and it's the biggest one. We invite all our relatives and our friends, and it's the most terrific day. Well, in the time of Jesus, they were much, much, much bigger than that. They didn't last a day. They went on for days and days and days. It was the biggest event in anyone's life, and it was really, really important. And it wasn't just family and friends. The whole village, the whole town turned up. Everyone was supposed to be there, and it was a great and a glorious moment. But in this wedding, something went terribly wrong. Not very far into the celebrations, into the feasting, someone said to Mary, they've run out of wine. There's no wine left. That was terrible. For the rest of her life, everyone would point at that young bride and say, do you know, she's the one where they ran out of wine. There was no wine. That's who she is. Dear me, you can't trust her. You can't trust that family. We'll have nothing whatsoever to do with it. Mary turned to Jesus and she said to all the staff around, they said, just do whatever he says. So Jesus says this is what happened. There were great big jugs there, full of water. Because it's part of what the Jewish thing they used to purify themselves. Great big jugs of water. You know, I've got a big jug here. Actually, they're much bigger than this, but I can't carry anything bigger. And he said, right, fill these jugs with water. Like that. See the water going in? Yes. What was he doing? What was he on about? What a silly thing to do. Who needs water? It's wine that they wanted. He said, right. Now, pick up the jugs. Take it to the person in charge of the feast and pour some of it out. The water had turned to wine, just like that. And it was better than that. Because when the person in charge of the feast tasted it, I won't do it now, it's middle of school day, isn't it? Ha ha. You know, I've got to drive home. When he tasted it, he said, oh, do you know, this is the best wine I've ever had. He said, most weddings you go to, they serve the really good wine first, and then when everyone's had quite a bit to drink, if you've been to a wedding, you probably notice that some of the grown-ups occasionally do have just a bit too much to drink. So when they've all had enough to drink, then you serve the really cheap old stuff, you know, the stuff that you got from Aldis or something like that, you know, all the cheap stuff down the road. But no, you have kept the very, very best wine till now. It's a great story. Jesus saves the day. Jesus turns tragedy into a triumph. And it's like a sort of general idea of what Jesus does. Jesus changes things. Jesus transforms things into something much richer and far better. Water turns into wine. Now, you'll come across a whole load of people who'll say that, being a Christian is all about being miserable, all about going around with a frown on your face, being unhappy and finding everything wrong with the world. Well, those people don't read their Bibles, because actually, as this story shows, the very opposite is true. When Jesus is there, when the power of Jesus is in our lives, he changes things. Water turns into wine. A tragedy turns into something wonderful. A disaster becomes something that we can celebrate, where we can find love and hope for. So, my prayer for you and for your families and for your schools is that in this year, water, jolly good stuff, water, but water will turn into wine, the stuff of celebration and joy and fellowship. Thanks be to God. Amen.